Hey, core reporters. So it has been a mystery in the teen mom world ever since the news broke about Amber Portwood's ex-fiance Gary Wayt and why it is that he vanished like a thief in the night in order to get away from her and this relationship after getting engaged to her shortly before. Well, now he has gone on the record to answer all of our most pressing questions about what exactly went down that led to the end of their relationship, especially in such a dramatic fashion, right? Shout out to Teen Mom fans over on Instagram because they got the exclusive with him and I want to go over it with you. Spoiler alert, you're not going to be surprised to find out why he decided to up and leave Amber. Just before we even get into exactly what it is that he said, I'm going to bring it up just to prep it for you guys. But do you recall when Amber went online and she did interviews claiming that she had absolutely no idea why Gary would leave her? She claimed that she never said anything crazy to him. She said she never put her hands on him. She doesn't even understand why he left his phone behind. She was totally bewildered as to why he left. The majority of us who have kept up with the show, and Amber in particular over the years, were not exactly surprised, just given her track record of, DV, right? Well, come to find out, her track record, right, and her history, that was enough for us to go off of. She said not to judge her by her past, but listen, thank God we decided to ignore that and judge her by her past because, yep, her past really has a lot to say for this. So let's get into the interview that Teen Mom fans had with Gary. Quote, when he was asked if he could walk through what led to his disappearance and everything, Gary says that, as we know, we went to the wedding, which was the wedding of Amber's brother, Bubby. We got back to the spot. Both of us were already intoxicated. We had a conversation days before about my family not being happy with her criminal record. And because of us drinking, Amber brought up the situation and started a toxic fight with me. I told her, we are intoxicated. Let's talk tomorrow. But she wanted to talk now. When the toxic fight went from bad to worse, I knew I was going to leave. That's when Amber found my cell phone, JW earbuds, wallet, and I think even my toothbrush and deodorant, and would not give them to me. I had no other choice but to become a missing person. I experienced the manic episodes before, and I was tired of them. I told Amber it was not a good idea to drink, but she does her own thing. With everything with my family and now the problems with me and her, I just left. It was a right decision looking back. Gary did have a lot more to say. So there is a part 2 where we're going to talk about his claims about the engagement and whether or not that was a real engagement or anything like that. But before we get into that, let's stop and analyze part 1 here, right? So Gary saying that he had already experienced a couple of Amber's manic episodes does not surprise me because this is something that Amber has been dealing with for several years. And you could very clearly see throughout the season that she was going through similar struggles, especially by the look in her eyes and some of her erratic, the decisions and behaviors as well. So it is very unfortunate to hear that. I understand that he tried to hang in there because I do believe that he had genuine feelings for her. And when you have genuine feelings for someone, you try to, ride things out and be there, this and that and the other. But when it gets to be too much to the point where it is causing you issues with your own mental health and with your own emotional health and stuff like that, you are well within your rights to up and walk away. In fact, you don't even have to have an explanation. Maybe you don't like the color of underwear someone's wearing. You can walk away from a relationship over that or anything you want. I just want to clarify that. And then there's another part where he said that his family did not like Amber based off of her criminal history, which again is completely understandable. Amber's criminal history points to a history of substance abuse and of violence against her male partner. So to me, it makes a lot of sense that her male partner, Gary, his family would be against him being in a relationship with a woman like that. It just does not sound like a smart personal decision to be making, And so I totally get it. And again, Amber, when she was doing her interviews online, she was saying that it was because she was white. She was saying, oh, his family, I think he was Vietnamese, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they're from Vietnam and they don't like that he was with me and I'm like white American, which obviously was a lie. And then he said that Amber also withheld not only his phone, but his wallet, his headphones, and his toothbrush, which like she really truly was, if all of this is true, right? This is all alleged. She really truly was trying to trap him with her in that cabin in the woods. And so, again, she claims that he just was randomly missing, like he just disappeared or got kidnapped out in the wilderness like that. But it always made sense to those of us who have been watching Amber's patterns over the years. Like it's very clear that he would have left those things behind in order to simply get away from her. Amber is a very, very difficult person to break up with because Amber really can become, violent if she feels threatened or anything like that. And this is something that we saw play out in her relationships in the past. And so when you're dealing with somebody like that, sometimes it's best to just up and leave, try to gather what you can, your most precious, most important items, but anything else, it's fine. They're replaceable. You're not replaceable, but your items are. And so it seems as though Gary followed that rule of thumb and he made sure to get himself out of there and everything else was soon to follow. So, I am looking forward because Teen Mom fans did say that they are going to be releasing like more information or more parts of this interview. I really hope that one of the parts of the interview is going to address like how the police interactions went, right? Because Amber went and reported him as a missing person. And, that led to like a nationwide or statewide manhunt for him and whatnot. How did the police, you know what I mean? Like, what was his first interaction with them? Like, did he go towards them? Did they come to him? Was there a family member? Like, did his family members know about this? Like, how did they find out about this? Like, did they find out about the breakup and everything like that from the news? Or was that something that he had told them prior? Like, I really am looking forward to finding out that sort of information as well. Now, I did say that there was a part 2 to this interview, so let's get into what the second part of this interview was all about. It was about their engagement and whether or not it was a genuine engagement or if it was a made for television engagement. Gary had a lot to say about it, and it might actually surprise you. For example, I did think that this was a genuine engagement, but I guess not. Gary says he didn't even have to buy the ring. Quote, the engagement was real, so to speak. It was staged by the show, and it wasn't my idea to propose. I wasn't ready for that next step, but I agreed to do it to keep her happy. I thought that's what I wanted. Yeah, it was real. We were engaged. It just wasn't genuine. So it wasn't real. I didn't even have to buy the ring. So there you go, you guys. MTV wanted a new Amber engagement storyline. She's been engaged like 6 times or 5 times, and they said, let's go ahead and make it 6. Get on your knee, Gary. Here's the ring. Was it even a new ring, or did someone just take off their ring and give it to him to give to Amber? These are questions that need answers, and these are questions that are hopefully going to be asked in the subsequent interviews between Teen Mom fans and Gary Wayt. Guys, head over to, if you're on Instagram, I definitely recommend that you follow the Teen Mom fans Facebook page because they are always up to date with the tea. Listen, you guys, I know like a lot of time has passed since Gary's disappearance and his subsequent resurgence, but it still is nice to at least get this sort of information to really close the chapter and have like that level of closure. Like now it's nice to know what really happened because Amber really was trying to paint a certain narrative that was just so counterintuitive to exactly who she was. And, in my case anyway, I don't know about you guys, you can always let me know in the comment section. But for me, I feel like, very like vindicated and validated knowing that like, my initial intuition of Amber was 1000% true. And I find her to be a very scary person, that she's capable of doing all of these things. And then, going and just sobbing and just acting so shocked, accusing this man of destroying her and stuff like that, as if she wasn't trying to, intimidate him, scare him, trap him into not leaving her. Like, this man had to go risk it all, going down these windy roads in the woods, very, very remote, just to get away from this person. And that same person was going on some kind of like a sobbing, like shocked, distraught, like what could have happened, like self-victimization tour. You know what I mean? even on the show, she was just rambling to the Uber driver, the poor man. She was just breaking down to her child psychologist and stuff like that, and just like acting so bewildered and shocked. And then when she got the news that he like was found again, she's like, "Oh, thank God, girl, you knew what happened. You knew he was trying to get away from you, and you knew." And you know the things that you do to this guy, that he would be so desperate that he would disappear without his phone or his wallet. That's scary. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.